Let's go over set in online Playful math. The objective of the game is to find cards that satisfy a specific pattern. Each card has three characteristics: shape, color, and number. In the harder version of set, shading is an additional characteristic. Begin by dealing 12 cards face up and explain to your students that the objective of the game is to identify a set of 3 cards based on the given characteristics. A set consists of 3 cards that satisfy the following rule. The characteristics of each card must either be identical among all cards or distinct among all cards. This means that the shape, color, and number must be the same across all 3 cards or different across all 3 cards. If 2 cards share a given characteristic but the remaining card doesn't, the 3 cards do not form a set. For example, if the 2 cards have diamonds and 1 card has ovals, these 3 cards do not form a set. Here's an example of 3 cards that do form a set. The colors of all 3 cards are different, the shapes on all 3 cards are different, and the number of each element on all 3 cards is the same. After a set is created, replenish the grid with 3 more cards. In set, there are no turns. Instead, the first student to call set gets an opportunity to identify 3 cards they believe form a set. While this happens, no other student may adjust outstanding cards until the student calling set has finished. The students can then collectively verify whether the 3 cards form a set. After the student calling set is finished, any other student may call set when they've identified 3 more cards that form a potential set. The game continues until there are no more cards left in the deck. After the grid on the right has been filled, students may stack cards on top of each other to continue filling the grid. Now let's go over an example of gameplay. With these 12 cards, I'll play as a student. I see 3 cards that I think form a set, so I will call set. I'll now move the 3 cards I see to the grid on the right. Notice that the shapes on all 3 cards are different, the colors of the shapes of all 3 cards are different, and the number of shapes on all 3 cards, 1 in this case, is the same. Hence, these 3 cards do form a set. We'll then draw 3 more cards to fill the main grid. I see another 3 cards that may form a set, so I will call set again. Notice that the shapes on all 3 cards are different, the colors of all the shapes of all 3 cards, green in this case, are the same, and the number of shapes, 3 in this case, on all 3 cards is the same. Hence, these 3 cards also form a set. This continues until all cards in the deck are depleted. Students may stack cards once they've filled the grid on the right. While playing set, you may notice that some students continue calling out sets. To ensure that each student has an opportunity to identify a set, you could say something like, let's give this student a chance to find a set, or simply have students take turns identifying sets. Let's go over a scenario where a student is struggling to identify a set. As the instructor, you can help identify sets and provide hints to a student who is having trouble finding a set. For example, I see a set with the bottom right 3 cards over here. I can move 1 or 2 of the cards to the grid on the right, and then I can ask the student if they see a way to complete the set.